Hi friends and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello. My name's George Agambar and I'm a UK music producer. Today's video is all about autotune. Now this can be a really highly controversial topic between musicians, engineers and producers. Some people really love it and some really hate it. That's up to you to decide. I'm not here to tell you whether you should or shouldn't use it on your mixes. And some avid watchers of my channel may say, well, George, you've already made a video on autotune. What's different about this one? Well, in this one, we're going to go into a bit more detail about the history of autotune. We're also going to look at the difference between autotune and pitch correction. And we'll have a look at instances when I would personally choose when to use it and when not to. So if this sounds interesting to you, then make sure you stay tuned and hit the subscribe button and notification bell for new videos every Wednesday. And things will never be the same when I hear your name since you kissed me in the rain. Autotune is the software that corrects the pitch of your instrumental vocal line to the closest note. Simply put, it automatically tunes your vocals or your instruments. We do have to give it a reference scale or key so that it knows which notes to correct to. Otherwise, it really wouldn't end well for us. And so within a click of a few buttons and a turn of a few dials, we have a beautifully in tune audio track. However, I will say that autotune always works best on a single monophonic line. And this is because if you tell it to tune a guitar chord, for example, it can't separate each individual note and tune them to the correct ones individually. And so we end up with some really weird sounds. The audio company Antares has trademarked autotune. The company and the software was founded by a man called Dr. Andy Hildebrand. Now, interestingly, audio wasn't actually his profession to begin with. Dr. Hildebrand has a PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Illinois, and at the time was working in the geophysical industry doing seismic processing research. It's believed that one day a colleague's wife said to him that she would really benefit from it if he could design something for her to help her sing in tune. And from there, autotune was born. And it's widely publicly credited that Cher's hit song Believe in 1998 really brought autotune into the public eye. And that single is really known for its robotic, weird vocal sound, the one that autotune created. So I really do give a big hats off to all the engineers and producers who worked on that song for introducing us and the mainstream music industry to autotune. Now we hear the terms autotune and pitch correction being thrown around a lot. But are they interchangeable? Are they actually the same thing? Well, I would say that they both have the same end goal, which is to tune the audio. However, they have a different process of getting there. Pitch correction is a manual process. It allows you to manually edit the tuning of individual notes, so think of a software a bit like Melodyne or Flex Pitch. Autotune, as the name suggests, is an automated process. We simply set the relevant key or scale and the software does the job for us. Autotune really is a lot quicker and simpler way of tuning audio. However, pitch correction can sound a lot more natural and be a lot more sympathetic. It allows you to zoom in and tune individual notes, not every note of the audio, and it allows you to really specifically tune them and decide how in tune you want it to be. So let's hear two vocals, one that's been tuned using autotune and one that's been tuned using pitch correction, and we can compare the two. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. As you can hear, both the vocals were pretty much in tune. However, the one that was tuned using pitch correction just sounded a lot more natural and transparent and less obviously tuned. What is the main use of autotune? What do we associate it most with? Well, if you're like me, you hear the word autotune and you jump straight to, oh, that's a vocal effect. But actually, it doesn't have to be. I've got an interesting story about this. One day I was given a guitar line and it was really out of tune. I mean badly out of tune. And I was stuck on what to do. I just couldn't get it to sit in the mix. I couldn't hide the fact that it was out of tune because it was so obviously bad. And then I stopped and I thought for a minute and said to myself, this is one monophonic instrument line that's out of tune. Why don't I try putting an auto-tuner on it and see how that works? And actually, to my surprise, it worked really well. I mean, there were some points where the string was being bent, and so the auto-tune made the audio sound a bit funny, but I could fix that by changing some of the parameters. Basically, my point is that auto-tune doesn't just have to be a vocal effect. It can work on other instruments too, and actually be a bit of a lifesaver in some instances. Just to prove my point, here's a guitar line that's been tuned using auto-tune. As you can hear, yeah, it may not sound like the most natural, most amazing guitar part, but the auto-tuner has done a great job of getting that guitar line in tune. So now that we know what auto-tune is, how it was invented, when we might use it, let's have a look at actually how to use it and begin to understand its parameters. Now, every auto-tune plugin will vary ever so slightly. So we're just going to talk in general here. The main thing to do is to tell the plugin which key we're in, as this helps the plugin know which notes to correct the track to. To do this, you need to make sure that you either know the key that your track is in, or what scale the track is using. We can also make sure that some of the notes the plugin doesn't correct by bypassing some notes. So if I bypass a note C, for example, if a pitch in my track was a C, this pitch wouldn't be corrected by the plugin. And if the plugin has a bypass all button like this one, that's really handy for A-Bing or comparing the dry to wet signal so you can hear the difference. We also have to tell the plugin how quickly to react when it detects a pitch that's out of tune. And this is really important as it plays a huge part in how natural the auto-tune will sound. You do this using the response parameter, which you may find is also called the retune speed. So let's quickly compare a really fast response time to a really slow one. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do, I do, I do, I do. You can hear that the really fast response sounded obvious and robotic, whereas the slow response didn't have much of an effect. So ideally, we want somewhere in the middle. We also have a meter showing the amount that the track is corrected by. This mainly just gives you an idea of the original intonation of the track and how much work the plugin is having to do. So that's all great. But what if you have a vocal that's out of tune with the rest of the track, but in tune relative to itself? Well, not to worry. This is where the detune parameter that most auto-tuners have come in handy. This allows us to detune the whole track by the amount that we choose. So here's a vocal tuned and then detuned. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. I miss you like crazy, I do. Can't help but write these songs for you. Miss you like crazy, I do. I do, I do, I do. As you can hear, the whole pitch of the vocal shifted when it was detuned. As I mentioned earlier, auto-tune can be a really highly controversial topic. Some people really love it and some really, really hate it. Personally, I think it can be a really cool effect when used creatively, especially in a lot of music brought out by Phineas recently. I think that's been done really well. But there are some times when I wouldn't choose to use it. Firstly, I wouldn't choose to use it when I have a really busy track with lots of fast notes or a track with lots of background noise. The plugin can't decipher and correct the information to the notes that you want it to, and it ends up being a bit of a mess. So really, if you don't have a clean single-lined recording, I probably wouldn't bother trying to tune the track. Secondly, I personally wouldn't use it live, unless it's used for an effect and used creatively. Now, so many people have different opinions, and I'm not here to tell you what to do, what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. It's all up to the individual to decide. At the end of the day, it's your art and your artistry. So that's a brief overview in Autotune and pitch correction and how to use it. All in all, I think Autotune and pitch correction is a positive thing. In reality, a very, very tiny percentage, if any, of singers can sing perfectly in tune all the time. And so by using Autotune and pitch correction, we can allow more singers and more creatives to begin to make music. And I know I say this a lot, but at the end of the day, if we've got more music and more creativity coming into the world and inspiring all of us, that's got to be a good thing and something that we should encourage. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and interesting. Let me know what you thought in the comments below and if there are any other videos you'd like to see in the future. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you again soon.